There's been an ongoing trope that the left can't meme. For a while, there was a subreddit called The Left Can't Meme, and The Donald was the dominant subreddit on Reddit where people were posting memes. In fact, from an MIT technology review, they found that most memes propagating on the internet originated from 4chan and The Donald. Which brings me to today's story. An image you see on the screen, for those that are watching, of Joe Biden with an eye patch. It says, "The malarkey will end. The Dark Brandon rises November 8th. And then it's supposed to be like The Dark Knight Rises, but it's Joe Biden. And you may have noticed, as many people did, this is Andrew Bates on Twitter, who is the White House Deputy Press Secretary, showing an image of Joe Biden with the Nazi eagle behind him. Oops. This is the thing about the left not being able to meme. The Dark Brandon meme, which has been going viral for some time and has now been embraced by Democrats, was originally intending to make fun of Joe Biden by ironically depicting him as like an evil dictator or warlord and a guy with glowing eyes, and thinking they're clever, not understanding memes. Apparently, people in the White House and other politicians have embraced these memes, not realizing as part of making fun of Joe Biden, they have put a Nazi eagle behind. Okay. They just don't get it, I suppose. And I guess what they're thinking right now is, in the wake of the Democrats passing this reconciliation bill, the infrastructure bill, or the Inflation Reduction Act, whatever you want to call it, it's a big victory. And now the Democrats are clearing the way to win in November, which is historically unprecedented. If they really think it's going to happen, I doubt it, but maybe. What we're seeing now is after these successes, like in Kansas, they passed, they succeeded in the referendum protecting abortion rights, and now with the reconciliation bill, they're posting these memes of Joe Biden with glowing eyes, like, yeah, Dark Brandon, we're going to get it. They don't understand the memes. And you know what? Perhaps it's clever of them to try and appropriate these memes because, well, it is fairly smart. There is a wide range of these posts making fun of Joe Biden. They come out and claim we use these to support him. And now many people might be like, hey, wait a minute, they actually like this. I got to tell you, though, my response to this with the Nazi Joe Biden thing is like, if I was going to make fun of Joe Biden, it's exactly how I do it. Biden, glowing eyes, being like, no malarkey, come on, man. Like, that's how we would make fun of him because it's irony. They've embraced it. They've literally embraced calling themselves the name that we're calling them. It's like if there is some kid being made fun of and you call him a moron, he goes, well, maybe I am a moron. So what? And it's like, and when you laugh again, you're like, dude's just making fun of himself. Michael Malice makes a really great point. In an old thread from a few years ago, which he recently updated, he said, the left taking right-wing slang and appropriating it is unprecedented. And now we're seeing it with Dark Brandon. So interestingly, for those who don't know, the meme actually started before what's called Dark MAGA. But we're going to get into this. I want to break down for you the mechanics of memeing, what the point is, and why it's not going to work for the left. This is insane. Look, the left does not operate in the same way that the right does. There are distinct cultural differences. The right likes the mockery. The left doesn't understand it. And all they're doing is making Joe Biden look like a Nazi. People who vote Democrat don't understand this. They don't get context. For the most part, some do. But thus, I see this whole thing just backfiring hilariously. Right now, my friends, as they're celebrating the passing of this bill, Republicans are saying this climate health care bill they've pushed through with reconciliation, it's going to backfire in the midterms. They're already doing bad. The Democrats celebrate with Nazi Joe Biden memes. Meanwhile, leftists are trending Dem exit, saying they didn't put progressive policy in the reconciliation bill. They didn't actually give progressives what they wanted, so they're not going to get them. This is hilarity in the obliviousness, ignorance, and I guess just we'll call it stupidity in the latest attempt at memeing. Let's go through the details. Before we get started, my friends, head over to timcast.com and become a member to support our work. As a member, you get access to our exclusive, uncensored Timcast IRL shows. We're going to have a really amazing show coming up tonight at Timcast IRL, as well as the uncensored show, because we have an awesome guest on the way. We never say who the guests are because, they might cancel and then people get all hyped up and stuff like that. But it's going to be pretty epic. It's going to be a huge show with an amazing guest. And you'll also get access to our new shows like Cast Castle and Tales from the Inverted World. Support our work. And I am also proud to announce, ladies and gentlemen, we are officially NewsGuard certified. That being said, NewsGuard gave us an 82 out of 100. Why? Out of 3,892 articles we've written, I'm sorry, 2 of them contained quotes from Trump that we reported on factually, but didn't do a fact check on. No, seriously. Because we've had a few articles that needed correction, 5, and because 2 of them were actually factually accurate 100%, but weren't editorially the way NewsGuard wanted, they dinged us for 18 points. Anyway, just to get that off my chest, let's take a look at Dark Brandon. Andrew Bates posting, "The malarkey will end. The Dark Brandon rises," with a Nazi eagle behind him. No joke. I mean, that's what people are mentioning. Like, I didn't want to show the actual images. But this is what Andrew Bates posted, which precipitated this. It's Joe Biden with laser eyes, and it says, "Your malarkey has been going on for long enough, kiddo." And he says, "Dark Brandon is crushing it." I can respect it a little bit, because they're trying to learn. But over here on the right side, you can see Dem exit is trending in politics. Democrat exit. People are not happy with what's going on, and they're convinced they're winning. Market watch. It's going to immediately help. Biden sees midterm boost for Democrats from Inflation Reduction Act. And literally the day later, Dem exit is trending. Sorry, dude. We'll get into all that. But you see, many of these progressives and younger Democrats feel like the Inflation Reduction Act had nothing progressive in it. It was a corporate Democrat bill, so they're not happy. Republicans are angry it's going to jack up prices. And meanwhile, they're celebrating by posting these ridiculous memes. Oh, man. Here's a story from Newsweek. Dark Brandon meme reclaimed by Joe Biden's supporters after latest wins. Dude, reclaim them. That's the funny thing. Putting a Nazi flag behind Biden, I'm like, okay, call him a Nazi for me, I guess. The Dark Brandon meme, says Newsweek, has exploded on Twitter following a week of political victories by President Joe Biden, including the elimination of al-Qaeda's leader and the passing of the climate deal by the Senate. I love how they called it the Inflation Reduction Act, but now it's the climate deal. Photoshopped images of the president have filled Twitter feeds in recent days. The meme has recently been claimed by Biden supporters, who have transformed the original mockery of Dark Brandon into an unironic show of support for the president. Okay, I want to make this point clear again. If I call someone an ungulate, okay, and then they go, yeah, well, maybe I am one, you're going to be like, dude, what? Like, okay, I digress. Making fun of Joe Biden and then them saying like, yeah, we are going to be made fun of. It's just like, okay, like we're laughing at you. We don't care if you think it's cool. That's what they don't understand about these memes. Like, fine, use them. We'll keep sharing them. There's memes of Donald Trump like riding a tank and stuff, making fun of the idea. It's hilarious. I love the meme where it's Rocky Balboa with Trump's head, and the left thinks it's real. They take it seriously. This is why this is funny. Putting Trump's head on Rocky Balboa's body is hilarious because Trump is he's nearly an octogenarian overweight man. That's why it's funny. And I also love to point out when you see those comics of Trump, who does this? Ben Garrison, and he makes Trump look all like tough and ripped. It's funny. It's funny they think that. All right, here they go. The Dark Brandon meme, combining the infamous anti-Biden Let's Go Brandon catchphrase and the aesthetics of Dark MAGA, wrong, was initially meant to show an unhinged and almost diabolical and monster-like version of the president in mockery of Biden's perceived real lack of strength. Yes. However, we jump over to our good friends at Know Your Meme, and they point out Dark Brandon came first. So dark MAGA is this idea that when Donald Trump gets reelected, it's revenge time. But Dark Brandon came first. If you go to Know Your Meme, they say, Dark Brandon refers to a series of memes depicting a darker, edgier Joe Biden. The memes appropriate dark MAGA imagery originally used by right-wing posters to depict Donald Trump, as well as the Let's Go Brandon catchphrase. However, they point out that the first post of dark MAGA actually came after Dark Brandon. They say as the meme trend evolved through August 2022, it increasingly expressed an unironic appreciation of Joe Biden and the accomplishments of his administration. The memes often feature deep-fried imagery and laser eyeballs borrowed from dark MAGA, as well as many of Biden's meme-worthy catchphrases, such as malarkey and listen here, Jack, and turn on a shot of pressure. Here's the important point. They say, the first mention of Dark Brandon online was in a tweet posted by a Twitter user, Punished Pope, who was riffing Let's Go Brandon meme, saying the Dark Brandon rises, which is a reference to the Dark Knight, which is the Nazi eagle behind Joe Biden. The Dark Brandon and Dark Brandon rises Punished Pope's tweet received over 30 likes in 4 months, so not particularly prominent. One user put a quote retweet of the Dark Brandon rises, earning 5 likes. However, despite this being the first utterance of Dark Brandon, online related to Let's Go Brandon, the opposing dark MAGA trend wasn't coined until March 12th, 2020, by Twitter user. So Dark Brandon actually came before the Dark Brandon rises. Then you started getting dark MAGA bubbling up, and then people started making the Dark Brandon meme. So I suppose you could argue it is technically true. But the Dark Brandon rises, making fun of Joe Biden with the image. Like, here's my point. The actual image that is being criticized is the Dark Knight Rises. This meme came before Dark MAGA. They say going into the remainder of March 2022, Dark Brandon and hashtag Dark Brandon trended on Twitter, gaining more engagement. And most of it is just making fun of him. That's really it. They're making fun of him. Look at this. Gets COVID, can't breathe. Gets COVID, kills top al-Qaeda leader, and it's like a shadowy figure, shadow on Joe Biden's face. They go to mention basically what you get. Everybody was basically making fun of the guy. And I suppose the best thing they could do if they wanted to engage with it was to embrace the idea. However, I don't think it really works, guys. I really don't. Look, Donald Trump's a madman. They claimed he was colluding with Russia. They claimed he was sporadic and was going to launch a nuclear war. So when you make a meme of a guy who's nasty like Trump, we get it. It's an exaggeration. When Donald Trump calls someone a fat pig or whatever like that, you can give him laser eyes and we get it. When Joe Biden is being mocked because he's sleeping and can barely speak straight, you're not really supporting the guy. Whatever. Look, if they like it, fine. I don't think it's convincing anybody, mostly because the left doesn't operate on the same meme wavelength as the right. There are many memes that are actually quite funny, which are based on Joe Biden being sad and pathetic. But here's the point we get from Michael Malice. He tweeted, a few months after Dark MAGA, today we're writing articles about Dark Brandon, which combines 2 slang terms from the right. This trend is, as far as I know, historically unprecedented in American popular discourse and has many implications. Now, this tweet from Michael Malice from from the past week is an addendum to a post he made in 2019. You have this from the New Yorker. It's a guy with glasses talking to a kid. And he says, remember, son, it's not whether you win or lose. It's whether you call the other guy a snowflake before he calls you a snowflake. Michael said on April 24th, 2019, one of the major cultural shifts in the last 5 years is the left adopting the slang of the right. Here it is again. And it's a reference to Hillary Clinton saying, I'm living rent-free inside of Donald Trump's brain. And it's not a very nice place to be, I can tell you that. Right-wing slang. He says, as slang enters the mainstream, it degenerates. Here, Trump derangement syndrome is being used to mean Trump drives me crazy. Look at this. One New Hampshire voter said, I have a very severe case of what's called Trump derangement syndrome. He won the election because he had help by the Russians. I don't want to live in a country run by Vladimir Putin. He's an illegitimate president. Of course, this post was from May of 2019. Biden, I absolutely agree. Trump derangement syndrome means you're unhinged. You're not thinking clearly. This woman was using it to mean that Trump makes her angry. They're adopting it and they're embracing what they're being accused of. Then, of course, Michael Malice references dark MAGA. What is dark MAGA? Trump supporters attempt rebrand for 2024. Sort of, not really. It was a viral trend that memes pop up and come and go. The idea is people are going to, I don't know, I guess. Well, Newsweek says the hashtag first appeared on January 21 and it became increasingly popular by March. Interestingly, because Know Your Meme says it was actually March. But the idea is revenge. The aesthetics of the movement are easily recognizable. Images edited in red and black or red and blue featuring people with blue laser eyes or holding weapons. Dark MAGA supporters are calling for a ruthless, unforgiving version of Trump to take revenge on his political enemies at the 2024 election. Though the movement hasn't been recognized or endorsed by Trump in any form, the former president hasn't yet even formally confirmed whether he will run for president. So this is what I find fascinating. This idea, the dark Brandon meme, a corruption of a passive joke from the right, something used to make fun of Joe Biden, and they're trying to embrace it. Okay. I mean, look, far be it from me to tell them what to enjoy. The issue I see here is that these memes don't work on them. You'll notice that many left-wing memes, they tend to be verbose. There was a really funny meme. Oh, I love this one. It was a post on Facebook, and it said, the reason left-wing memes are so long is because they're trying to break down someone's cult brainwashing. For people on the left, that often, and I'm like, oh man, there we go. The meme is the meme. They're arguing. Here's a meme someone posted at me. Bruin Justine tweeted, Joe Biden with laser eyes, and it says, crappin' and nappin'. It's funny. That's why I pulled it up, and I retweeted it even. It's funny because Joe Biden with laser eyes, crappin' and nappin'. He's an old man, and he's weak. And that's the idea. The idea is he's a weak man. You see, a meme does something simple. It is a small morsel that triggers an explosion of ideas. So when you post crappin' and nappin' as a meme, and with Joe Biden with laser eyes, what you're basically doing is taking like a bouillon cube and putting it in the hot water and creating the broth. This simple image invokes a ton of ideas. One, Joe Biden ironically showing strength signifies he is weak. Crappin' and nappin' references potentially that he crapped his pants, or there's a meme referencing he crapped his pants when he was in Italy. Also that he's very old and feeble. All of these ideas simplified in one image. Now, most of you already understand this. I get it. When they take Joe Biden and unironically do this, they are conveying to regular people these same ideas. Not that he's strong. They're trying to, but this is the image that dominates the web. Turn it on a shot of pressure. Next now, recent, Batacaf care. Fake words made up by the president because he struggles to speak. You need only look at this. When Joe Biden's approval rating is in the absolute gutter. Now, of course, for some reason, people approve of Joe Biden. 39.5% in aggregate. Joe Biden's lowest point is lower than Trump's lowest point. So Joe Biden ain't doing all that well. Maybe it's indicative of exactly what happened with Trump. Now, Trump gained voters, but he still lost. A lot of people, you know what really bugs me is the changing of the goalpost on the fraud stuff. Many people talk about 2,000 mules, and I say, absolutely investigate this. Accusations of ballot harvesting and stuff like that. I'd love to see it. But that's very far from the narrative of like fabricated ballots and things like that. But my point here is Donald Trump still gained votes. If Joe Biden's approval rating is this far in the gutter, and we're already looking at a substantial number of votes, I don't see how he's going to gain. I really, really don't. If you are fighting an image of Joe Biden as an old man crapping his pants, making memes that are intended to be ironic, which highlight his weakness, you probably shouldn't do that. Well, but that's what they're doing. This is what they think. It is going to immediately help Biden sees midterm boost for Democrats from Inflation Reduction Act. Sure. Let me just show you this simple tweet. Here's a guy whose Twitter handle is Breonna Taylor was murdered. And it's just one of the tweets in the Dem exit trend, which you can see right here is trending in politics with 5,295 tweets. He said, the bill did not bring back the child tax credit. It did not include dental, oral, eye, hearing care into Medicare for seniors. Dems like Sherrod voted against these things along with the GOP. Time for a Dem exit. Many Democrat voters are saying, we're out. This isn't cutting it. We'll see what happens in November. I have no idea. I'm not going to come out and claim the Republicans are going to win. The historical trends suggest they will. The polling suggests they will, but maybe they won't. These are unprecedented times. But at a time when Joe Biden is cheering on what progressives are criticizing, I think it's important to point out they're going in the wrong direction. And the Nazi meme stuff they're doing with Biden, I think really exemplifies that. From the Daily Mail, public perception of the economy is the lowest since 2008. More Americans say they trust the GOP to handle issues that hit their pocket, new poll shows. Duh. Just duh. Really? In an ABC News Ipsos poll released Sunday, 69% of Americans claim that the country's economy is getting worse, while just 12% say it is getting better under President Joe Biden's leadership. In 2008, the same polling service found that 83% of respondents thought the economy was getting worse. When it comes to niche economic issues like taxes, inflation, and gas prices, Americans say that they trust Republicans to handle the topics more than Democrats, the current party in power. More than 1/3 of respondents say they trust the GOP to handle the economy overall, compared to the 25% who say they trust the Democrats. Amazing. And the Americans' perception of the economy getting worse. Getting worse. 2 quarters of negative GDP growth is the traditional but unofficial definition of a recession. When it comes to gas prices and inflation, 33% of respondents say Republicans are more equipped to handle the issues, while 24% and 23% say, respectively, Democrats would handle the issues better. Well, that's interesting what they're trying to say there. Republicans are more equipped, 33%. So it's the plurality, I should say. They say more Americans say they trust the GOP to handle the issues. When you write something like that, you really need to break down what they mean. Biden specifically has a 37% overall approval rating on his handling of the economy. The only issues where Biden's approval rating has changed is on gas prices, rising to 34% from 27%. Prices per gallon have dropped by $1 on average. Now good for Joe Biden. The funny thing is, I will tell you this, it is Joe Biden's policies that does have a direct impact on gas prices. He has hindered the production of fossil fuels in this country. And a variety of his policies may have resulted in some prices going down from their peak, but still being high. I don't care. Joe Biden's policies have a direct implication on the gas price, whether they go up or down. They're still up, though. And the latest bill they just passed is likely going to increase fuel costs. So, sorry, I'm not buying the whole narrative. You can come out and try and claim you're winning or whatever. Regular people, they're going to see through it. Now, of course, the Democrats have become the party of the wealthy, which is why they don't care about this stuff, in my opinion. That's where they're going. Republicans, on the other hand, say the Democrats will pay the price in midterms for passing massive spending bill. Republicans say the Inflation Reduction Act will only make inflation worse. Yes, why wouldn't it? They're going to spend substantially more money. Now, let's see how things are going for Republicans. I think that the Democrats posting a Nazi meme of Biden just shows they have no idea what they're doing. And right now we can see over at Predict It, Ron DeSantis and Donald Trump are nearly tied. This is truly incredible. 36 cents for a share of Trump, 34 for a share of DeSantis, which means that's the favorability for who will be the Republican presidential nominee. I think it's good news all around. Ron DeSantis is very popular. Interestingly, however, you do not see Larry Elder in this chart, which matters because the big news we have is that Larry Elder has teased a presidential run at CPAC. I think it'd be fantastic. Larry Elder up on stage with Trump, DeSantis, and maybe a few other people. We'll see how it goes. New York Post says Larry Elder teased a run for president in 24 while attending CPAC. I'm getting a lot of feedback about a possible run for some higher office. I'll just leave it that way. I don't think he's going to win. I don't know if he runs. I think it'd be good for him to run, and you never know. What I can say is that the Republicans have too many contenders. No, I mean, seriously. Donald Trump, likely going to win. Ron DeSantis, giving him a good run for his money. I'm a big fan of DeSantis. And Larry Elder, also pretty popular. Nikki Haley somehow is going up, but I don't see... Tucker Carlson is on there, Josh Hawley. I think they will potentially announce a run and give us a good GOP primary, even Larry Elder. There's a lot of Republicans who've got merit. Maybe we will see some presidential action or some cabinet positions or something from any of these people. Tucker Carlson is already one of the most famous conservatives in the world. Name a Democrat. Who's going to run? It's not Kamala? Biden? Yeah, right. So who do you got? AOC. Oh boy, did people get mad at me. The left, some on the right and many on the left were like, stop saying AOC should be president. I think it'd be hilarious. She's anti-establishment. They're like, why are you promoting her, Tim? Oh, come on. Of course, Trump would be better than AOC by leaps and bounds, but AOC would be better than any other Democrat because, I mean, she's just going to harm the deep state, the bureaucratic state. She's going to be miserably bad. I'll just put it that way. So it's like, okay, whatever. And she might do things I agree with, like she might investigate January 6th. I don't know, because she's out there complaining about it, but I'll take it. Here's what we get. As Democrats cheer on their Inflation Reduction Act climate healthcare bill, which is going to raise costs for the American people, they celebrate by posting Nazi memes of Joe Biden. Meanwhile, cities are imploding. NYPD in crisis, the Democrat stronghold. Force suffers exodus as 42% more cops in the last year filed to leave the department, and 71% are leaving before reaching full pension as Big Apple crime spirals. Yeah. But rest assured, my Democrat voting friends, if you vote for them, they will enact corporate Democrat policy. They won't give you what you want, but they will post a meme of Joe Biden with an eye patch and a Nazi eagle behind him. It's amazing, isn't it? Now, a lot of people are pointing out, they're trying to claim it's not the Nazi eagle. So I want to make sure that context is in there. In my opinion, this is what I'm saying. Of course, you're going to get Media Matters and being like, it's not actually. In The Dark Knight Rises, it is a bat behind Batman. They made it the eagle with the straight wings and everything, and it looks just like the Nazi emblem. The U.S. does also have their eagle emblem as well. Maybe that's what they were trying to do, but I think the face is going the wrong direction. I don't know. Either way, the point is this. It is relatively similar, and it's just a meme. So I'm not going to rag on them because, they thought hard about it. What I'm going to rag on them for is trying to appropriate mockery of Joe Biden with this extreme imagery. And I don't mean politically extreme. I mean it's showing Joe Biden with collapsing buildings and an eagle behind him with an eye patch is just hilariously dumb. Taking Joe Biden from this feeble old wheelchair-bound man and trying to prop him up as something bigger than that. It's just funny. It's funny and sad. Meanwhile, Americans are suffering under rampant crime. Just some of the craziest crime we've seen. That story about the dude in the Vegas smoke shop stabbing the guy. He had been robbed already in less than 10 months, and he said he thought this guy had a gun. He spoke up. I did a segment about it. This is what Americans are experiencing in cities like New York. Police are fleeing. They don't want to work there anymore. I don't blame them. They're being demonized. They're going to prison. Here you go. Mass exodus. They say 2,465 officers handed in notices so far this year versus the 1,731 in the same period in 2021. Man, 1,098 cops who turned in their badges this year did so before reaching a full pension. They don't care. They're out. They say crime is up 37% this year so far. Many other police forces across the U.S. are struggling to retain staff amid increasing crime and underfunding. And that is the Democrats. You've got an immigration problem, an economic problem, inflation, recession, etc. They're cheering for this bill. As everyone says, Dem exit time. Look, to wrap it all back up with the memes, the left isn't motivated by this stuff. Showing a young progressive a picture of Joe Biden with laser eyes is not motivating them to vote for Joe Biden. Joe Biden does not exude strength, and a meme won't change that. When you have Donald Trump and he says, grab the women, that when you're famous, the women let you know what? When he goes on stage and they're like, you called women fat pigs, and he goes, only Rosie O'Donnell. He's a blowhard, bloviating, arrogant man. He is. For all of the policies I like that he's done. So when you make a meme of him riding a tank with laser eyes, holding an eagle and a machine gun, it's funny because you're mocking him, essentially. You're mocking the idea of him. No one actually thinks he's Rocky Balboa. But when you take crap and nap in Joe Biden and you give him a laser eyes and saying no more malarkey, you're like, dude, the malarkey thing's not funny. It's pathetic. It's weakness. You're exemplifying the idea of his weakness. Okay. I think the meme will work for some people. I do. I think some people will embrace it. But the Democrats don't operate on that same wavelength, as I mentioned earlier. And that means As Democrats try to appropriate right-wing talking points, it doesn't work. It's not fun. It's the machine. It's boring. Jeff Bezos, Amazon, they're the ones marching around saying Black Lives Matter. And so these people are like cheering for Rage Against the Machine. There's a hilarious article. Rage Against the Machine has this concert where they're criticizing colonialism or whatever. And then they sell $100 hoodies to people who line up. Pure capitalists. Anti-capitalist, pure capitalists. Is that what okay. The left, as we know it in this country, is dejected, angry, and amoral. That includes corporate Democrats and leftists, personalities. They promote ideas so long as it's popular. There's no principle. Now, I know among the right, there are many similar, but that's the exception, not the rule. You know, I can come out and I can criticize Donald Trump for tons of things. And then they try and say like, oh, look, Tim criticized Trump, or they call me conservative leaning. And it's like, here's the fascinating thing. You embrace some ideas and other ideas. And instead of saying liberal leaning, they'll say conservative leaning. They just live in Wally world. They live in nonsense land. They don't know what a centrist is. It's quite hilarious, in fact. They don't know how to address people who are consistently pointing out the failures of Democrats. The Republicans are trash, but the Republicans don't do anything. Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham are sitting on their hands. Democrats, meanwhile, are steamrolling through whatever they want. That's the point. That's what we criticize. Right now, the concern among American people is the economy. They're not addressing it. They're making it worse. The concern is the border. They don't care. Where did they win? Abortion. In Gallup's poll of the most important issues, what percent of people do you think said abortion is the most important? Got a guess? 1%. And they're claiming the Kansas victory matters. I'll tell you what matters. Crime. What's happening in New York, losing their cops. The economy. That's why there are so many contenders on the Republican side that are prominent, because they're addressing issues Americans care about. But Joe Biden and the Democrats, they're spiraling. I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up at 8 p.m. over at youtube.com/TimcastIRL. We're going to have a really big show tonight. Our guest is particularly awesome, and I'm not going to say who. Maybe you can guess who it is based on this video, who may be showing up tonight, and, should be fun. I'll leave it there. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all tonight at 8 p.m.